You ever notice how some people hear the words, let's go out, and their soul quietly leaves their body? Their eyes flick to the couch. Their brain starts calculating how long pajamas would have to be abandoned, and suddenly staying home feels sacred. Maybe that person is you. Maybe it's someone you know. The friend who cancels plans with impressive creativity. The one who says, I just really love my space, like it's a personality trait. We joke about it. We call it being lazy, antisocial, boring, or old at heart. But underneath that preference for staying home is something much deeper and surprisingly complex, because loving to stay home isn't about avoiding life. Often, it's about how someone experiences life. And once you understand the psychology behind it, you might never see homebodies the same way again. So let's pull back the curtain and see what's really going on in the minds of people who love staying at home. Picture this. It's Friday night. Messages are flying in. Where are we meeting? What time? Who's coming? Meanwhile, someone is already home. Lights dim, phone on silent, a familiar show playing, not because it's exciting, but because it's predictable. For this person, staying home isn't a backup plan, it's the plan. This first type experiences the world as loud, not just in sound, but in sensation. Crowds feel like static. Social environments demand constant attention, faces, voices, timing, reactions. Their nervous system is always processing, always working. Psychologically, this often connects to higher sensitivity and introversion, not shyness, not social fear, but a brain that simply uses more energy processing stimulation. When they go out, they don't just hang out, they absorb everything, and afterward they feel wrung out. Home for them is not isolation, it's recovery. This is the person who can enjoy people deeply, in small doses, one on one conversations, familiar faces, quiet laughter, but large gatherings feel like running a marathon with no water breaks. If you're nodding right now, this might land close to home. And no, it doesn't mean you're antisocial. It means your mind values depth over noise. Then there's another profile, and this one surprises people. Imagine someone who stays home not because they're drained, but because they're fulfilled. Their inner world is busy, creative, active. Their thoughts wander, build, replay, imagine. They don't need external stimulation because their mind is already doing the work. Psychologically, this often shows up in people with strong internal focus: writers, gamers, thinkers, planners, dreamers. Their dopamine doesn't come from novelty outside, it comes from immersion, from losing themselves in something. While others chase experiences, they build them internally. To the outside world, it can look like avoidance, but inside they're not bored, they're engaged. Home becomes the perfect environment for this. Fewer interruptions, more control, more flow. Going out can feel like being pulled away from something meaningful, not towards something better. Ever cancel plans because you were in the middle of something and that something wasn't urgent, just absorbing? Yeah, that's this type. But here's where it gets deeper. Some people love staying home because home is predictable, and predictability feels safe. This doesn't mean they're afraid of the world in a dramatic sense. It means their brain has learned, often subtly, that uncertainty costs energy. Social interactions involve guessing, reading signals, adjusting behavior, performing small versions of yourself. And for some people, that constant adjustment creates low grade stress, even if they're good at it. Home removes that pressure. No roles, no performance, no monitoring how you're coming across. Psychologically, this connects to self regulation. When someone has spent years adapting, maybe growing up in unpredictable environments, maybe being the responsible one, maybe constantly accommodating others, staying home becomes the one place where they don't have to. It's not hiding, it's resting from adaptation. If you feel most like yourself when no one is watching, this type might feel uncomfortably accurate. Then there's the misunderstood one, the person who stays home because they've already been out there. A lot. They've done the late nights, the crowded weekends, the constant plans. And at some point, the novelty wore off. Not because life got boring, but because their values shifted. Psychologically, this reflects internal alignment. They know what gives them peace, and they choose it deliberately. This is often confused with withdrawal, but it's actually discernment. They don't avoid socializing, they just filter it. They don't hate people, they protect their time. Staying home becomes a statement: I know what I want, and I don't need to prove it. Ever feel more powerful saying no than saying yes? That's not laziness, that's clarity. But there's one more layer here. The twist people don't really like talking about. Sometimes loving to stay home doesn't begin as a personality trait at all. It begins as comfort, relief, a small exhale at the end of a long day. And slowly, quietly, that comfort turns into habit. The brain loves efficiency. It's always asking, what worked last time? If staying home consistently meets emotional needs, safety, rest, control, predictability, the brain starts choosing it automatically. Not consciously, not dramatically, just efficiently. Over time, going out can begin to feel heavier, not because it's objectively harder, but because the neural pathways for novelty, effort, and uncertainty haven't been warmed up in a while. Like muscles that haven't been stretched, they resist movement, even when curiosity is still there. This doesn't mean something is wrong with you. It means behavior shapes preference. Psychologically, this is reinforcement at work. Every time a behavior reduces discomfort, the brain tags it as safe. The more it's repeated, the more default it becomes. Eventually, staying home can feel like the obvious choice, even on days when part of you wonders what might happen if you went out. That's why the real question isn't how often someone stays home. It's why. Is it chosen or is it automatic? Do you stay home because it genuinely nourishes you, or because leaving feels heavier than it used to, even when nothing bad has happened? That distinction matters more than we admit. So, what does all of this actually mean? It means loving to stay home isn't one thing. It's not antisocial. It's not boring. It's not a flaw that needs fixing. It can be sensitivity, creativity, self protection, emotional maturity, or habit. Sometimes all of them overlapping in ways that change across different seasons of life. And the real psychology here isn't about location, it's about balance. Some nervous systems regulate through stimulation, noise, motion, and people. Others regulate through quiet, familiarity, soft lighting, and walls that feel known. Neither is better. They're just different systems, trying to stay steady in a very loud world. So I'll leave you with this. Which version felt uncomfortably familiar? Did one description hit closer than the others? Or did you recognize different chapters of yourself in different parts? If this made you feel seen, or helped you understand someone you care about, that's worth sitting with. And if you want to keep exploring the hidden psychology behind everyday behaviors, we rarely stop to question. You're already exactly where you need to be. Home, after all, is where understanding begins.